Here is the news. First, the main point. All Nigerians own the Niger Delta, so says Ibrahim Gambari. Niger Delta residents flee villages. Militants war worsened. 30 people killed. I annulled the June 12, 1993 election, so says Ibrahim Babangida. Nigerian federal government records 96.6 billion naira in the first quarter. We need $85 billion to produce electricity in Nigeria, so says Rewan Lukman. Why Igbo are used to do dirty jobs, says Sisi Ono. And now the news in full. The man appointed by Umaru Yar'Adua to become the chairman of the Niger Delta Summit, Alhaji Ibrahim Gambari, has boasted that he will not step aside despite all the protests from the people of the Niger Delta in particular and the Eastern region in general. In a statement he issued in Abuja, Alhaji Gambari, who has been working at the United Nations and living in New York for as long as anyone can remember, arrogantly stated that the Niger Delta belongs to all Nigerians and therefore he will not quit the chairmanship of the summit given to him by Umaru Yar'Adua. In a very condescending tone, he stated, "This is not a summit of the Niger Delta, by the Delta, for the Delta," end quote. Quote, "It is not a Niger Delta problem. It is a national issue. You know that when you have an issue in the Niger Delta, it immediately affects the global oil price," end quote. People of the Niger Delta, people of the Eastern region, what else do you want to hear from the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchy, the parasites of one Nigeria? If you did not get the point, listen again to Mr. Gambari. Gambari, the mouthpiece of the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchy, the Sokoto Caliphate, is telling you that the land of the Niger Delta is no longer your own, that it belongs to all Nigerians, that the problems in the Niger Delta, the problems are not about the people living in the Niger Delta, but about the oil and gas from the Delta. That what is important to him and his fellow parasites is the oil and gas flow and sales. That oil and gas flow and sales must be disrupted. The goal of the summit is not to address the poverty, the pollution of the land and rivers in the Delta, the destruction of the livelihood of the people of the Delta, the lack of schools, roads, hospitals, jobs for citizens of the Niger Delta, the unconscionable injustice perpetrated by Satan Nigeria on the people of the Niger Delta. No, these things are not on the agenda of Ibrahim Gambari and the Sokoto Caliphate. What is important to them is to secure their claim on the land and resources in the Niger Delta. How many times have we told you that the only interest of Satan Nigeria, the only interest of the Hausa Fulani Yoruba, is to claim the land, including the resources in the Niger Delta, as their own? How many times have we told you that? Yes, every time you talk about give us 20%, give us 50%. In any discussion or litigation about property in any court of law, the first question that is asked and straightened out is, quote, who owns this property, end quote. To who does this property belong? It is only after the ownership has been established that sharing of the property can be discussed. You do not discuss sharing before you have established ownership of the property. People of Eastern region, the Hausa Fulani Yoruba have taken over your land as you foolishly talk about percentages. What percentages are you talking about? The land is either your land or it is not. If the land in Eastern region belongs to the communities in the Eastern region, then start shouting at the top of your voices that the land belongs to the different communities. Ijo land belongs to the Ijo. Ishikiri land belongs to the Ishikiri. Urobo land belongs to the Urobo. Igbo land belongs to the Igbo. Isoko land belongs to the Isoko. Efik land belongs to the Efik. Ibibi land belongs to the Ibibio. Ogoja land belongs to the Ogoja. And the Edo land belongs to the Edo. If you don't say this clearly and insist on it now, you will forever live to regret it. Look at what happened to Efik living in Bakassi Peninsula. Every leader in the Eastern region must not talk about anything else until the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchy accept in writing that your land actually belongs to you, not to anybody else. Governors, senators, traditional leaders, politicians, intellectuals, those in the liberation movement, if you fail to focus on this now, you all will live to regret it soon. How many of you, one Nigerianist in the Eastern region, can even imagine, not to say mention, that you are co-owners of the land in Sokoto Emirate, in Katsina Emirate, in Kano Emirate, in Zaria Emirate? How many of you can even imagine that you will go to the Sadona of Sokoto and tell him that you are making a major decision about the land around the Zulu? If you try it, you will be killed instantly, and nobody will ever ask about it. We challenge any of you big shots from Eastern region, the one Nigerianist, to try it if you believe that you are stakeholders in the Sokoto Emirate. In other news, the Tribune reported that residents of the Niger Delta have been fleeing their towns in droves since Chief Umaru Yaradua ordered soldiers into the Niger Delta to capture or kill those who destroyed oil pipelines in the Delta. Confirming the fleeing of these helpless villagers in the Niger Delta, the National Secretary of the Ijaw Youth Council lamented that Yaradua's action amounted to a declaration of war on the people of the Niger Delta. People of the Niger Delta realize that certain Nigeria has since declared war on you. That war has been going on for many years. The only thing is that some of you, especially most of your leaders, are in denial. They are hoping against hope that certain Nigeria will bring paradise to them. Those who want to tell themselves the truth have already learned that Nigeria will never, repeat, never help the people of the Niger Delta. The government of Nigeria will only do one thing, that destroy the Niger Delta and kill the people of the Niger Delta. That's all. Fighting among the different liberation groups in the Niger Delta has worsened in the past few days. Shegu James reported from Yenegua that Atake Tom's camp has been at war with Prince Igodo camp, and that more than 30 people have been killed in the conflict. People of the Niger Delta, can you see how a people have become so stupid beyond measure and beyond human understanding? The House of Fulani Yoruba took over the land and resources of the people of the Niger Delta, destroyed their rivers, streams and farmland, and have been killing the people, men, women and children in thousands. And what are the young men and women doing? They are fighting each other over only God knows what. They left their real enemy, who are wiping them out, and started fighting each other. Oh God, save the Niger Delta and the Eastern region. Former so-called military president of Nigeria, Ibrahim Babangida, on Tuesday acknowledged that he was the one who annulled the 1993 presidential election. He was reacting to Professor Humphrey Nwosu's ludicrous claim that it was not Babangida that annulled the election. The joke is now on Humphrey Nwosu, whose master, Babangida, has made to look like a fool. In life, nothing is worse than having a slave's mentality and not having the balls to stand up for truth, freedom and justice. The government of Umaru Yaradua stated that it has recorded a budget surplus of 96.63 billion naira in the first quarter of this year. There you have it. They have 96.63 billion naira that the House of Fulani Yoruba satanic government of Nigeria will share among House of Fulani Yoruba oligarchy, while children in the Niger Delta are dying of kwashiorkor, dysentery, cholera, malaria, etc. And the adults are going mad from gas flaring, while the ones who won't die are quickly killed by certain Nigeria's army and police. Tomorrow, they will tell you about one Nigeria, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. They will talk about building this road and that road. Have you been to Abuja recently? If you haven't, try and go and ask yourself where the House of Fulani got the money to build Abuja into something else. It is your money.